This is Live from the Table, recorded at New York's world famous Comedy Cellar. Coming at you on Sirius XM 99 Raw Dog and the Laugh Button Podcast Network. This is Dan Natterman, here with Noam Dorman, owner of the world famous Comedy Cellar. Periel Ashenbrand is with us. She is our producer, but she also has lots to say. And we have Franqi French with us. Franqi is a comic that works here regularly, relatively new. Welcome, Franqi, to our show.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is very exciting.
And you are making your debut on Live from the Table.
I am.
I did want to get into, I'm back from Vegas. I wanted to talk somewhat about that. As you know, Franqi, have you been to the Vegas room?
You know what? I've never been to Vegas, and I lived in LA for like 4 years, and I was in Arizona recently. I've never gone to Vegas.
Well, the Comedy Cellar has a room in Las Vegas.
I heard.
And I just did it. I just came back from a week in Vegas. And Noam, are you listening? You look like you're looking down at something.
I'm listening. Week in Vegas. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, my impressions are as follows. Well, forget that. I want to talk about the fact that I made a...
Okay,
do you want to hear my impressions of the room?
I do.
Are they negative?
Pardon? No, it's fine. The shows were good. And, you know, it's not the New York room. The audience is a little bit, you got to be a little bit more conventional, I think, in your stand-up to appeal to them. And, but I'm able to make that adjustment and the week went fine.
Because I know you can't be like an edgy, dirty comic like you and just go to Vegas. You got to be.
There are jokes that I have that I would hesitate to do in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I have seen him be very edgy and dirty for the rest.
I've seen people in Vegas be very dirty and go over like crazy.
So in Vegas, one of the most debaucherous cities, they want cleaner comedy.
Well,
that's an interesting dichotomy, right?
The people that go to Vegas they're tourists. They come from, you know, all over, but I think more likely from the Midwest than from the East Coast. And I do think they're more conservative.
Nah.
But Noam disagrees. But
Everybody's there too. Well, go ahead. You were going to say something else. But
the main point I want to make is I took my first foray into selling merch. I've never sold merch before. So I sent a modest 20 copies of my book, I Respiro Before COVID. Franqi, I'm not sure if you knew I have a book.
I didn't know that. That's
well,
awesome.
I recently wrote a novel and it's called I Respiro Before COVID. In any case, I sent 20 copies to Mark Cohen in advance. He's the MC out there because I didn't want to take it with me. So I just
smoked them.
He did not smoke. No, they were there when I got there. But for the first time ever in my entire life, I sold merch after the show, and I must say it is something I do not ever wish to do again.
Really? Why?
It is horrific. First of all, maybe if I were headlining and they were all there to see me, it might feel a little bit better. A couple of aspects of it. First of all, you can't just do your show and then show up with merch after the show, especially a book, which is something unexpected. You have to kind of intro it in your set.
Right.
So at the end of my set, toward the end of my set, I said, by the way, you know, I try to weave it in naturally, but it's never natural. I said, oh, so during quarantine, you know, it was a rough quarantine. I tried to keep busy. I wrote a book. I wrote a book. It's called I Respiro Before COVID. It's about a comic, a neurotic New York comic, and, you know, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I'll be selling it outside. If you want to come say hi, or, you know, buy a copy, it's available on Amazon, whatever. So I had to intro it, which felt unnatural and embarrassing, to be quite frank, because it just felt like shillery. And also, I said to myself, these people don't want a fucking book. Who the hell reads anymore anyway? But at the first night, I said, you don't have to buy it. And I said, you know, if you wanted, you don't have to buy it.
I'll just give it to you.
No, I said, quite frankly, I feel uncomfortable even doing this. That was the first night, and I sold 0 books.
Perfect.
Show.
Well, your marketing worked then.
The second show, I didn't do that, and I sold, I think, 1 or 2. Anyway, I sold 18 in total.
Hey!
I might have sold 20, but I gave 2 away in the course of the week.
Wait, Dan, that's amazing.
Yeah,
you made
that's
it
awesome.
sound.
It is horrible. You stand out there. First of all, the guy next to me is selling T-shirts, Michael Yo. He's doing a bang-up business.
I told you to make T-shirts. I told you I'd make you T-shirts and hats.
The point is why. Okay.
Wait a minute. You make T-shirts? Okay, we need to talk later.
The point is this guy's doing like a gangbuster business selling T-shirts right next to me as I'm standing here with a book. It feels ridiculous because Obviously, they're going to buy the T-shirt. Everybody wears T-shirts. Who the hell reads? Like I said, and you know, who the hell wants to buy? And so people would come up, like 1 or 2 people after each show. 18 people bought the book. I would be utterly blown away if one of those people read the book. Absolutely, I would be shocked because I don't believe. I think they just wanted either they wanted a souvenir or they felt bad for me because the guy was selling so many T-shirts.
So let me get this straight. So you're in Vegas and there's this like Midwestern audience, and you present them with this nebbishy New York Jew.
That's right.
Telling
That's correct.
Novel.
Yes, that's why. And that's what I'm getting at.
And you think it's the dirty content, which is off-putting.
I didn't do dirty. I did do dirty.
Like,
well, first of all, I didn't say my act was off-putting. I did well pretty much every show.
Yeah,
Second of all, it's not the dirty.
They can accept some dirty jokes.
It's not the dirty that's the problem. It's like if I were to be a little bit, I don't know, like I have a joke about. I don't want to do my act, but I have a joke about gun control. You know, that the cellar works. I don't know if it would have worked there. You know, it's not dirty. It's just things that are a little bit outside the box.
They like their guns.
But in any case, I don't think they were off-put by me selling the book, but it was not my ideal audience. And there was this like.
But you sold all of them.
Right.
I did. I don't think they're going to get read.
Who cares?
One guy came up to me and he had like a Southern accent. He said, now how much is that book? And I said, and it's like, you think this guy's going to read it? The last thing this guy is thinking is, well, I could use some Philip Roth type literature right now.
Are you on Voices?
My bookshelves are filled with books that were never read. Some of them by some of the great authors of our time,
including mine.
Yeah.
You wrote a book?
Noam's bookshelf is also filled with my books that he's never read.
I never meant to read your book.
Hilarious.
So that is and by the way, a shout out to the lovely Angel Gaines, who was one of the comedians that worked with me this week, because the last night I had 2 books left. And it was after the first show and nobody was buying the books. And Angel then stepped up to the plate and said, come on, he's only got 2 books left. Buy a book. It's a great souvenir. And she got 2 people to buy the book.
Nice.
So so had I done that all week, had I been that kind of an aggressive, you know, P.T. Barnum type, I probably could have sold double the amount of books. But at the end of the day, to make an extra $200 the entire week. And another thing is during the set, I was worried about selling the book. I'm like, I got to kill. Like, am I killing hard enough to sell this book? Well, 2 of the shows, I didn't even sell the book because I didn't think I killed hard enough. And I didn't want to be standing.
So you mean you didn't even put it out?
I didn't even put it out there. I didn't want people looking at me like, this guy's got some balls. After that awful set he did. They weren't bad sets. They weren't killer. And I just felt like if the set is not killer, I'm not going to sell any books. And I don't want to stand there and have people look at me like, why is he trying to sell us shit when he didn't crush?
But I feel like you're hindering yourself because there's someone in the audience you connected with. You know what I mean? There's probably someone there that wanted your book or wanted to say hi after.
There probably was, but I didn't want to endure the stares, STARES, of those that felt otherwise. So what I'm trying to say is there's a reason I didn't go into sales. And I don't want to start now. That being said, if anybody listening wants to buy my book, it's at Amazon, Iris Spiro before COVID. Anyhow.
It's excellent. I read it.
Oh, really?
No, I'm very much
You enjoyed it?
I loved it.
Oh, wow.
I'll stand
I'm
outside.
not just saying that. I mean, like I saw Periel's animated series. I didn't say I loved it, but I saw Dan's book. I loved it.
You're a monster.
I could find the cure for like childhood cancer, and if it were me, no one would be like, meh.
I think he would acknowledge a cure for childhood cancer.
No, she has a point. But
I'll stand outside and sell your book for you, Dan.
If you found the cure to childhood cancer, it would force me to reevaluate everything in my life. I mean,
right.
It would shake me to my bones. my misapprehension of reality. But you're not gonna find it.
It's also why he won't read my books.
Now you're gonna really try to cure childhood cancer.
It's dirty. It talks about you having oral sex and
You have
taking it
no
in half
idea
and
what it
everything else
talks
says.
about because you haven't read it. And once you read it, you're going to be like, oh my God, she really is that good of a writer. And it's going to fucking kill
know you're
you.
a good writer, but I don't want to picture you in these
Oh,
foibles or whatever the word is.
can we talk about Franqi?
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to talk about Chicago.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I want to hear about Chicago.
Well, I'm opening for Louis C.K. in Chicago this Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So Periel is coming out to see one of the shows. Sunday, I think, right? You're
I'm
going?
coming out Sunday to see the show. And I said, Dan, before I get plane tickets, I just want to make sure that there are tickets because the shows are sold out. And Noam, you really need to listen to this. And so he says to me, well, if the shows are sold out, how am I supposed to get you tickets?
Who says this to you?
Dan,
I was
shut
listening
up.
before you said I should listen. Go ahead. Go ahead. Start again. I really wasn't listening. Go ahead.
Oh. Did you hear the part that Dan's opening for Louis in Chicago?
Yeah, Dan said that. I heard that.
Okay. So I said, I'm going to come see you in Chicago, but before I buy a ticket, the shows are sold out. So I want to make sure before I get a plane ticket, I want to make sure that there are tickets. And he said, well, if the shows are sold out, how am I supposed to get you a ticket?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It's sold out.
Really? That makes sense to you? If I said, Noam, can I go downstairs and see a show at the Comedy Cellar? And you said to me, oh, well, how can you do that? The shows are sold out.
Well, if we sold tickets per table and every table,
Okay, but
chair
you
was
don't
sold, I will
because
tell
there's
you. Yeah, but Louis does. They have seats with numbers on them. A1, A2, G3.
oh my God. No,
Everyone's
no.
sold out. There's no place for you to sit.
The talent has tickets always.
Apparently not. He didn't
Well,
offer what
okay,
Louis might, but Dan doesn't.
No, actually, Dan does.
Well, look, I texted Leah, his road manager, and I said, can I get 2 comps for the show? And it's okay if I cannot.
Yeah.
And also, I'm happy to pay for them.
I didn't say that.
Well, I said that.
But she said fine. And I put Periel's +1 on the list. But Periel thinks it's silly of me not to have just assumed that I could get comps.
He didn't know that there are comps for every single fucking.
Yeah, I always assume that.
Of course.
Why didn't you just go on StubHub or something and buy your own tickets, Periel? Why do you have to ask Dan?
Because it's sold out. I couldn't find any tickets. I mean, I would have happily bought tickets. I don't care about buying tickets. I mean, I got plane tickets. It's not like it's about.
Where is this? Louis C.K. What date?
Sunday, the whatever date Sunday is.
What club are you guys
December
at?
5th. Well, it's a theater. It's
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's the Vic Theater, was it? I don't know. I think it's the Vic Theater.
Look, Noam's gonna go find like scalp tickets on Craigslist and berate me now.
Sunday,
Ready?
December 5th. Find tickets. They got tons of tickets here.
Okay. Well, I'll buy 2 then.
Doesn't say anything about sold out here.
Of course, they're sold out. If you go on Louis' website too, they're all sold out. Will you stop it? The fucking love.
I love that your
guy.
story got fact checked in real time.
That's all he
I see.
does.
Okay, that wasn't the actual. That was
He's looking at like a Knicks game in like 2023. Shut up. The point is that you know what? Never mind. Franqi.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
there's tickets in
Hey.
Ukraine. Go ahead.
There are tickets in the. You just want to send me away to the Ukraine.
Nikki French making her debut
Nikki
here.
French?
Who's Nikki
I mean,
French? She
no,
sounds
not
hot.
Franqi French. Nikki French remember Nikki French did a dance remix of Total Eclipse of the Heart back in the 90s. You remember that, Nicole?
I
Was
love
it Nikki French?
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
her
it was
name?
Nikki French. I think
I
it was.
love that.
I love that song though.
But do you
Yeah.
remember the Nikki French remix?
Isn't that Samantha Fox?
Oh, she might have done it.
I loved Samantha Fox.
Pretty sure it was Nikki French. But in any case, Franqi French, no relation.
Yeah,
to
no
Nikki
relate.
French,
We're actually that's my mom. So
is joining us for her first time on Live from the Table. She is also relatively recent, as I said.
Yeah.
How long have you been working here at the Comedy Cellar?
since June
June 21.
June 26th was
June
the day I
26th
got
was your first day.
passed.
So you remember that day. So I assume it was an
course.
important day for you and day that
Yeah,
is near.
it was a huge deal for me, for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, welcome aboard. How are you enjoying it so far?
I love it. I've been having a great time, having some great sets.
Well, you've definitely been having great sets because A, I've seen them. B, you're still here. Esty is not shy about this place is not on autopilot. She will toss a motherfucker out if they're not doing a good job on stage.
Good
There's a
to
few
know.
people that might be tenured if they have sufficient fame behind them. But pretty much everybody is subject to being evicted. Would you say that's true? No.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
So
Good-
one
good to know.
word answer. But there's plenty of people that pass here, and they're all excited and they passed. And passed meaning authorized to work the club. For those of you who are not familiar with that term of art, and within a couple of weeks they're seen no more. So that's part of the secret, I think, of the success of this club is always A, looking for new people. B, not afraid to get rid of the old people.
That's terrifying and also very good to know.
I think at this point it would be hard to get rid of me because I think I've been here so long. And
No.
well, they might. Like I said, no one's.
I mean, listen, if you go on stage and you start bombing, you're out.
Right. Would I get a warning?
Yeah.
Like, Dan, could you bring back the old material or is there something,
No, I don't think you get a warning because you don't need a warning. If you're not going over, and I mean, listen, this is sensitive, but I don't like to tell comedians what to do. I feel like they don't like it, and it presupposes that I have some insight into comedy, which I hate the stories about the club owners and the book owners who try to give advice, blah blah blah, to comics. I feel like we're all adults here. When you're not going over, and if you choose not to adjust and you stick to the material that's not working, then that's up to you. It's like, okay, well, he's not doing so well, so let's not use him. If you came to me and asked me why, I would say, why, but
I'd say, does this have anything to do with me and Juanita? You'd say, huh?
Juanita's here, by the way.
Okay.
So, but I mean, this has happened, but I feel like we wouldn't pull the plug on somebody like overnight. It would give you, plenty of time to adjust and stuff, but it happens when somebody just decides that they don't want to be the old person anymore. They want to do this new stuff, and they say, okay, and I mean, I think every comedian who gets fewer spots deep down understands why. They know when they're not doing well, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're self-aware, I know plenty of comedians who
Or not.
constantly bomb and have no idea that they're bombing.
Well,
Right, but if they used to kill and they start bombing, then they would know.
And some comedians wear this bombing as a badge of honor. Like, I'm not going to cater to the audience. I have my integrity. Yeah. Ulf is right. Like, it's so,
Because that's why we get into comedy, to have people hate us and despise our material.
I want to go on stage. I want people to pay their money, and I don't give a shit if they enjoy it. Well, that's not going to work.
That's bananas.
That's insane.
Well,
a little bit.
Look, one can stick to their art. That's fine, but one has to expect consequences.
True.
But being a good artist is in part being accepted by an audience. And the great artists are able to keep their integrity. Like somebody like Louis. Louis managed to find a way to say exactly what he wanted to say and yet be accepted by audiences around the world. And, we know a lot of people like that in music too. You have genius musicians who are totally boring, and then you have somebody like Stevie Wonder, who was admired by the geniuses and the everyday people as well. He found a way to keep his integrity and have mass appeal. We've discussed this, so I don't buy that. I don't buy that you can really be good and you're the only one who gets it, that you're good. If you're good,
agreed.
But
Agreed.
I do buy that you're good and not everybody gets it.
True.
yes, not everybody gets it, but you'll find it all.
But you'll gain, a decent percentage.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, even look at like somebody like Andy Kaufman, right?
That's a good example.
Thank you. Nobody else on the show would have admitted that, so I appreciate
No, it is a good example. I think of somebody that wouldn't appeal to everybody, but appeals to enough people that he became who he became.
Right.
Was he the first alt comic?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's certainly, I guess, among the early ones that we know of.
I would say he's. Would you say no?
First one I was aware, but I was a kid. But I don't remember anything like that prior.
Yeah, I don't either.
He was also kind of a genius, So
Oh, for sure.
Perio, you had something specifically I think you wanted to talk about with Franqi.
Yeah, she's on the most recently released episode of like the best fucking show on television. Small side note.
That was very fun. I was very nervous.
Well, what show was that?
Curb Your
Squid Game?
Enthusiasm.
Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Squid
Well,
Game.
No, I'm not on Squid Game.
Well, you said it was the most watched show on television.
I said it was the best show on
Best show.
television.
It is actually my favorite show, which is funny. I was sad when it left because it left after season 9.
Yeah.
And then a few years ago, they brought back season 10. And I was like, wait a minute, what? They're bringing my show back? And my husband and I were watching it. And I paused it and I was like, I have got to get even the smallest part on this show. I love it so much. I would love to do an episode. And then last night we finally I couldn't watch it right away. And so last night we sat on the sofa and we watched it.
Well, what did you say to Larry David when you met him?
I'm an idiot. So he comes in and one of the guys is like, hey, Franqi, this is Larry. Larry, this is Franqi. And as I'm shaking his hand, I go, oh my God, I know this is really exciting for you to meet me.
Well, I didn't see the episode. What was your part in the episode?
I'm in the opening scene, which is kind of cool. It was last Sunday's episode, and Larry had just come back from a trip from somewhere and got a car service back to his house. He didn't like it because the car service person that came to pick him up was a very small, slight woman. So he didn't feel comfortable having her carry his bags. And he's like, no, I got it. But he was clearly agitated by having to get his own bags. And so when he gets home, he calls the limousine service, and I'm the limousine service operator, and hilarity ensues.
And so how many lines were in that?
Oh, I mean, it's
a lot.
Yeah, a lot. It's like a 2-minute scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it probably took like a whole day to film.
it did. Yeah.
I mean, I know when I did Crashing, just 2 lines or 3 lines, and I was there till from morning till night, mostly just wandering around.
Hilarious. Well, we got it done pretty quick. I was there for probably about 6 hours, and we shot for maybe an hour.
And is it true that a lot of it's improv?
It's 100% improv. They give you the scene, and they set up, this is what you're doing. This is why you're doing it. Now just say some stuff.
That's what Crashing was like. I have to say, I didn't love that.
I loved it. Improv is my space. Yeah.
Because I felt like I had we would do the scene. Say me and Rachel Feinstein, whomever, we do a scene, and then we do whatever lines we did, and then they would say, "Okay, let's do it. Try it again." And I would say I came up with a great response to something Rachel had said in the first thing, but then Rachel didn't say it again in the second thing. So I couldn't do the improv. So I mean, in other words, it's like, when you're trying to coordinate with 5 different people, each trying to improv, and there's no coordination among them, I didn't find it, to be, optimal.
We just have to live in whatever the character is, right? Well, in my brain, you just are that person. And regardless of how the scene changes, you have to learn how to counter from the perspective of the character you're pretending to be. Right.
But isn't it true that with a good improv actor, as they do multiple takes, they will kind of settle into a little bit of a script. If they hit on something that's good,
yes, that
they'll
is.
say it again in the following take, But
they can only say it again if it's a response to a line that the other person
right. I guess
say the same line.
So in other words, if Rachel thought your comeback was really good, she might have then set you up in the following take.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Now, maybe she didn't think it was that good, or maybe she didn't think of it. Why? I mean,
I'm just using it as an example. I'm at Rachel. I just threw that name out there because she's somebody I was in scenes with, but I don't mean that it necessarily happened with her. But I do recall oh, okay, I got a great line for this, but I didn't get the line coming at me, that I wanted to get the line that I wanted to say. So. I felt that some combination of improv and more structure might have been optimal, but these were mostly the scenes at the table. I don't know if there was a lot of improv with the more plot-oriented scenes. In other words, there's some scenes where things have to happen to move the plot, And then there was a scene like within Crashing where it's just a bunch of comics trashing each other around the table. There's no plot movement per se. It's just
a moment.
of comment. So it wasn't necessary. I think the scenes with like Pete and his, like when Pete breaks up with his girlfriend, he has to break up with his girlfriend, and and there's no room for flexibility, and maybe there could be some flexibility into how he does it.
Right. Isn't that?
That's the improv.
Yeah.
Right. You just have like kind of a basic shell of what the scene is.
So the whole show is like that.
I assume even when I got the audition, the sides, there were no sides. It was just, this is your character. This is what you're going to do. And then I got my friends to just kind of like, hey, this is, let's just improv it.
Sides, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Are
the script.
I'm very sensitive to showbiz terms that people might not all know. Sides means that portion of the script that includes your lines.
Yeah.
So if they say, here are your sides, that means here is the portion of your script in which your character has his lines or her lines.
The first time I was auditioning, I thought I was getting like fries or something. I was like, oh, sides? Yes, I love sides. Can I get a salad? Or not even kidding.
Really?
I didn't know what sides were. I was like, I'm gonna get, okay, so I'm getting like fries or something.
Well, the first time somebody said to me, I'm going to do spots, meaning a show at a comedy club, I was like, what are you going to do spots?
Yeah, there's a lot of lingo.
A lot of lingo that we take for granted that I
just assume
everybody knows. But or a set, even the word set. The word set, I didn't know what that meant.
Well, I knew set because I did music before comedy, so I knew what a set was.
Also, get the light.
That I didn't know. That was a new thing for me. It took me a while to learn. I was just running lights all over the place.
Franqi was just on stage for like hours.
No, I feel you're looking up something online.
Looking up tickets to Louis C.K. in Chicago.
There are some if you want to get into some more current event stuff, Noam, of course, there is some things that have happened this week, or if you would like to keep talking about show business, I'll leave it to you at this point.
What happened this week?
Well, there wasn't this week, but Ahmaud Arbery's 3 killers were all found guilty.
Thank God.
I think Periel's gonna try to get Lara Bazelon or somebody to do the show. I don't know what.
Working on it.
Kind of one of those things, Periel, that we need to do, within a short time of when the verdict happens. Maybe we can get someone to discuss Dred Scott. I mean, we got to strike while the iron's hot.
I was working on Al Sharpton today.
Oh, nice.
As well, I'm working on it. Like, I mean, it's happening. It's gonna happen.
Right, but
quickly. I got it.
So that's that. What about? I mean, Omicron. I don't know how you say it.
Omicron. Sure, we can talk about Omicron.
Is that why you're home?
No, that's not why I'm home. But that's why I might be home.
I'll tell you why he's home, because Noam has discovered Zoom, and there's no going back. That's why
he's never leaving his house again.
No,
it's because I'm home because on 2 out of the last 3 days that I usually spend with my family, I had to go into the city, so I'm staying home tonight with my kids to read them.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, he's a good dad.
How old are your babies?
21. No.
Well, one of them is 27. Well, one of your stepson is
9, 8, and 4. 9, 8.
Oh, so cute.
But your stepson is 27, and you consider him more
like I wouldn't stay home for a 21-year-old. I was trying to make a joke. I'll leave
Wait a second. Do you really think Omicron is going to make us go back into lockdown? I almost called you today in a state of panic.
Oh God.
No, I don't think that, but I don't say it's not possible. I mean, it seems to be mild. It seems like it's been out there long enough that if people were dropping dead from it, I think they would know that already. The few cases I've read about that somebody had it was reported as being mild, although they were vaccinated.
Boosted too?
I think one of them was boosted. Yes. So, it's going to take them about 100 days to release a new vaccine, a new updated vaccine.
So people with the booster will have to get reboosted?
Well, not necessarily. I think that They don't know yet whether the current vaccine is effective against Omicron. It was effective against Delta, so they think there's reason to believe it will be effective against Omicron.
No, the head of Moderna was out there saying he thinks it's not 0 to 100, or it's not binary. He thinks it could be significantly less effective. The vaccine could be significantly less effective against Omicron, and which is why they are already in trials for the new vaccine. That's how quickly they can do this.
What the fuck? I mean, how many
But-
vaccines are we supposed
But it's also,
to
you're
get?
saying Omicron may be less deadly to begin with. And so that a vaccine,
Right. So the question is, like, some people may just decide, you know what, if it's a mild illness, I'll just take it. Like, not everybody gets the flu shot, and this might even be less than the flu if you've already been boosted. So it remains to be seen. Of course, we know there's various population groups that are very anti-vaccine to begin with, so it's unlikely they're going to take it, but I'm going to take it.
well, I'm going to, I kind of like the vaccines. I like that, I like to feel the science working within me. And if I have nothing to do, it's kind of almost pleasant to be under the covers shaking a little bit. Is that weird?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
As long as I know it's not going to kill me or it's not going to be too severe, and as long as it's not nausea and vomiting, which is my Achilles heel, I don't mind a bit of it's like comfy under the covers, and
So you're comfortable being a little bit sick,
yeah, a little bit sick.
but uncomfortable selling your wares that you've worked very hard
I didn't know
for.
that we were going to go there.
Well, yeah, it's just comparatively
Yes.
speaking. That's,
But if that's your question, my answer would be yes. I don't see that as ridiculous. I think a lot.
He takes comfort in the sickness because he feels it making him safer.
Well, but not only that, Noam. I just think about being under the covers and you have an excuse not to do anything you don't want to do. As long as I don't want to do something,
so you're just trying to get out of obligations.
Yes, and of course I could always lie, and I do have a joke about that where I say, I was the day after my vaccine, I was feeling well enough to go visit my aunt. I didn't go, but I was feeling well enough to go. I told her that
That's one of the best Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes when his mother dies.
Mhm.
And he realizes he can use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
He's not really upset, but he's like, my mother died. I can't.
That's right. That's right. He says it to everybody.
Well, so I guess great minds think alike, as they say, but yeah, nobody likes like being like a little bit sick, like that under the
No.
cover.
I used to like when my daughter was a little bit sick because not
Munchausen?
no.
What?
My mom actually had Munchausen by proxy, but she tried to murder me. But anyway,
Well, can you
But let's-
not gloss over that?
yeah. Well, I'll get back to it,
Right.
but not because I liked seeing her sick, but she's always been very independent, and when she's not feeling well, she'd be really clingy. And so it's not that I wanted her to be ill, but when she was like not feeling so great, she would crawl in bed with me. We just snuggle all day. She's the cutest.
How old is she now?
She's 16. We don't snuggle anymore.
Well, you could snuggle with a 16-year-old.
She every now and again, if she's like feeling kind of blue, she'll come and like we'll snuggle. We do a thing called foot snuggling, where we lay next to each other and we tangle our feet together. That's ridiculous. I know.
Sweet.
Well, you did bring up a topic that does seem like it might be worth investigating. You say that your mother tried to murder you.
She tried to murder suicide me when I was 8.
Well, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, she was going to take herself out too. But
yeah, so that's not quite like when I heard that Brian Laundrie killed himself, I almost thought to myself, maybe he's not such a bad guy. Yeah, he probably really did love that girl.
Dan, I understand being the interviewer and trying to use the guest as a springboard for your own comments, but she just told us her mother tried to kill her and suicide.
And we'll get there. Okay.
And you're on your own dumb jokes already. Can you tell us? Can you please tell us?
Yeah.
that story?
So, I mean, to give a little backstory, my mom had a lot of mental illness. She had a bipolar, schizoaffective, severe narcissism, and personality disorder, and with a sprinkle of Munchausen. Yeah. Oh, she was off the rails. And so when she had me, and she had 3 kids before and 3 kids
I don't know what
after me.
Munchausen is. I'm sorry to interrupt. I obviously everybody does, but maybe I don't know what Munchausen is.
Oh, Munchausen syndrome is when a parent they make their kid a little bit sick all the time because they like the attention
For themselves.
for themselves, right? Not necessarily, or they create illnesses that aren't real.
And they give their kids medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have Munchausen and like say that your child has cancer and get them
Right.
chemo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a really serious fucking disease.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's Munchausen by proxy?
But that's
then?
what we're talking about. Munchausen by proxy.
It's the same thing.
It's the same.
Munchausen's just the shorter
Okay.
version of it. Yeah. And so when she had me, she just left me in the hospital. And then my grandma came and got me, and my grandmother raised me here in New York. And but every now and again, like every couple of years, my mom would have these like breakdowns. And so me and my grandmother would go to where my mom lived and help her take care, not me, but my grandma would help her take care of my siblings and her household and that kind of stuff. So during one of those stints, my mom, no one was home, and my mom calls me into the bathroom. And I remember very vividly, and I was standing at the door and she's asking me if I want to go get ice cream with her. And she never wanted to do anything with me. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, you know, she loves me now and she wants to hang out with me. And the whole time she's like taking handfuls of pills and and I'm just assuming, I'm a little kid, so I don't know. I'm not connecting what's happening. I'm just like, oh, she must be taking vitamin. You know, I don't know. And so we get in the car and she just drove until like at pretty high rates of speed until she wrecked.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And I remember people coming, like it was like in a residential neighborhood, like one of those light poles. And I remember people like coming out of their house and like getting me out of the car.
Where she smashed into a light pole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's next to a tree, a light pole, that's about as bad as
pretty bad, pretty sturdy.
That light pole doesn't move.
No, it did not move.
Were you just terrified?
I don't remember. I remember everything up to people coming to get me out of the car. I don't really remember how I felt.
Were you in the front seat unbuckled?
I was in the front seat.
Unbuckled?
Buckled. Yeah. I had put my seatbelt on.
Were there airbags at that time?
No, I don't think we had airbags.
How are you so well adjusted? Like you are really, you are one of like my favorite people that I've met in like the past year. Like you are so much sunshine and love. And
well, can we get into the aftermath of the accident?
Well, I mean,
but that's literally just a small little blip of kind of my life experience. The next year, did your mother was able to keep custody after that? No one cared about a bunch of Black kids being abused. Like I'm not even trying to be funny, but we called CPS. We called for help multiple times. I told teachers, you know, no one cared.
Where was this taking place?
Was in Northern Virginia in Fairfax County. Mm-hmm. And we were one of 2 Black families that lived in that.
That's sort of a wealthy area, is it not?
Very wealthy area. But my mom, she like finagled the system to like get that house. You know what I mean? Like she did I don't know what she did, but it was something kind of shady and underhanded and just was like, whatever. Yeah. But the next year, my brother ran away from home for a multitude of reasons. And I helped him to leave so he was outside begging me to throw like his go bag out the window. This is my older brother. And my mom was like standing at his bedroom door, like, you better not drop that bag. But he's my best friend. So I dropped it. And then the next morning she woke me up and put me in the car with her. And this is another car, so about a year later. And we drove around the neighborhood till she found my brother. And he was like in the street talking with friends. And then she floored it and hit him with the car. Yeah, and he flew over the car and I didn't see him for like 2 days. And then he showed back up at our house and he was like, his arm was broken, his leg was broken. And some other like bones were broken. And he'd just been like at his friend's house hiding for like 2 days. And my mom like still didn't take him to the hospital for like 3 more days. Yeah.
So what ultimately happened? You went to live with your grandmother.
Well, I was living with my grandmother this whole time. But like I said before, we would come sometimes to my mom's house because she would have these mental episodes and she really couldn't like work or do anything. So my grandmother would come and I would go with her. And we would live with my mom so that my grandma could help her like maintain her household and help my siblings.
The making of a comedian, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm writing a book about my life story.
Do you have a book deal?
I have a literary agent. Yeah.
I mean, we know a lot of comedians that have books and have book deals. For nonfiction, you don't have to write the entire book to get the deal. You can write
that's what I'm writing, a book proposal. Yeah. But it's so when I started, because I had actually forgotten a lot of my childhood. And as I started writing this book, like memories started coming back. And I was like, oh crap, my mom did try to murder me. I forgot about that. And my uncle tried to stab me to death when I was like 11. Yeah, just lots of trauma queen. That's that's gonna be my
the title.
No, that's gonna be my comedy album. The title of the book is Black Girl Tragic. Yeah.
Trauma queen.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Thanks. I'm really good with titling stuff, like really good at it. So yeah, did I take this too dark? Are you guys okay?
No, no, I think we were expecting because Periel had told me that this had happened to you.
Oh yeah.
And so when I said to Periel, isn't there something specific you wanted to talk about with Franqi? That's what I meant actually. But you started talking about Larry David, which is fine.
Okay.
But that's actually what I meant. But
oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't necessarily, but I didn't know if we were gonna do it and if it was okay. But anyway.
Oh, I'm a super open book.
But you're an open book. Can we talk about, speaking of open, can we talk about something else that's open with you?
He's talking about my marriage, ladies and gentlemen. He's completely shocked and floored. Well,
I'm not shocked and floored, but I've heard of open relationships before. And I do have a friend who has, I wouldn't necessarily say it's an open marriage, but they go to swing clubs wherein they have threesomes with people.
No, we're not so much into that at all. I mean, I begrudge no one. Like, do your thing. I don't care, but we've been together now for 22 years, married for 15. Yeah, we just had our 15-year anniversary. And we've had an open relationship from the day we started dating.
So was that something that was initially discussed at like
by me? Yeah, I was like, I'm never going to be faithful to you. So not because it's him, it's just not anything I ever really wanted.
And does he have a similar mind, or he was like, okay, well, if that's the only way I can have you, I'll have you that way, or if he's like, I was thinking the exact same thing.
He's a big time slut. Yeah, no, he's very happy.
Noam, are you jealous at all? Noam, are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening. Am I jealous? Yeah. God damn it. Yes. But no, I don't want my wife sleeping with other men. That's for sure.
But do you think, Noam? I mean, I guess my question was going to be, can that work? But Franqi, apparently it has worked.
It's been working for 20 plus years. Yeah.
Franqi has cracked some code.
Well, he's legitimately, and people say this all the time, he's legitimately my best friend in the entire world. So like I talk to him about, like he talks to me about his girlfriends. I talk to him about people because I'm bi. So sometimes I'll date a woman or sometimes we'll date the same person. And sometimes I'll date a guy if I feel like it. But typically I don't really date men that much.
You and he ever date the same person?
Yeah, we date the same person often. Usually we're dating the same girl. So right now he's got his own. Well, right now he's got a girlfriend, and I actually am not seeing anyone right now.
But there's no threesome involved.
Yeah, often sometimes, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said there was a threesome.
Oh no, absolutely, for sure. Just yeah.
And what is your daughter? And this is your daughter's father?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how does she?
She's fine. She knows his current girlfriend. So when we sat and told her, she said her response was exactly this. She goes, "Huh, that's fine. But if I get scared in the middle of the night and I need to come in your room, that bitch better move over." Verbatim.
How old was she when she said that?
Like 13.
Wait, so this is not just my friend and his wife that I was just referring to. They're allowed to. They have threesomes, and B, I believe they're authorized to have sexual encounters from time to time. But these are sexual encounters, strictly sexual encounters. You're describing something different. You're describing full-on relationships.
Well, so this is our theory: is that I don't think that anyone can be 100% of what anybody else needs. Like, I don't think and we've had that conversation. I'm not going to be everything he needs and vice versa. So if we find someone that can fill in those spaces, and it doesn't hamper or hinder and it's respectful to everyone involved, I don't see why not. Right.
Yeah. But then it's like a walking communication of what it is that you don't have that he wants.
No, I don't. That's no. Well,
that's what you described it.
Well, right, true. But what I'm saying is he doesn't need to tell me what it is. Like we communicate. We probably over communicate. We talk a lot. And
yeah, well, if he goes home with if you find out he's dating like a super hot skinny white girl.
Oh, his current girlfriend is a super hot skinny white girl.
There you go. So you can't be all of what he needs because he needs super hot skinny white.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guy before the last guy I was dating is my husband's short, and he was a really tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed black dude. You know what I mean?
Well,
really,
how do you have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed black dude?
Oh, I don't know.
He was a Mick. He was Mick.
God just like said, poof, the world needs that. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. But no, I don't have hangups like that in terms of, I don't think someone's looks or even their personality is going to break up my marriage. You know what I mean? We were friends for years before we started dating.
But then you have to find a guy or a girl who is open to being the other person. In other words, you can. So, how do you then discuss that with a potential boyfriend? That this is our relationship can never be any more than a side thing for me.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because we've had girlfriends that we've gone like on family vacation with too.
Now, this is just getting beyond anything I've ever heard of.
No, what? No, it's not.
No, I've heard of couples that you can fuck who you want to fuck. I can fuck who I want to fuck, but it's just fucking. But again, what you're describing is a whole new level where you're having full-on relationships, and they come to the house for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever.
Last time I was here in New York, my husband's girlfriend was at my house with him and my daughter, cooking them pho from scratch. So yeah, I mean, it works. It works.
Well, I guess if it works, it works. I've just never heard it before, and I don't think it could work for most people.
I agree with that. It does not work. And it often doesn't work for the person we're dating. After a while, they want to be with just one of us and then that's happened many times where they've tried to like the girl just wanted to be with me or just with him after a while. And that's not the way it works. And so then we have to kind of cut that relationship off. But
no, if you could have your druthers regarding your relationship with Juanita, would there be any aspect of it that would? Oh,
Juanita. Why don't we ask Juanita?
Is Juanita in the vicinity?
No, she's not.
But
she's not going.
But you said if Juanita said to you, look, you can do what you want to do on the side, would you? I mean, I know you talk a mean game about how but you're just kidding around. But would that have any appeal to you?
But she would be faithful to me.
But she would be faithful to you.
Oh, hell yeah. Who wouldn't that appeal to?
But why would you care if she did the same thing?
Why would I care if she did the same thing?
Yeah, why? I mean, if
really?
Yes, really.
Why would I care if my wife starts fucking other dudes?
If you're ostensibly fucking other people.
That was the offer. It wasn't a realistic offer.
Okay.
And I mean, it's old school. That's what it used to be.
Well, Eric Zemmour, apparently the French political candidate who just, by the way, announced his candidacy.
What about him?
He apparently his mistress is pregnant, and everybody knows it, and it's
good for them.
It's very French. That's what I said.
That's what you said earlier. Yeah,
maybe that's why your last name is
That's
French.
why my last name is French. Exactly.
Well, actually, I've been, why don't I ask Periel that question? I mean, would you be comfortable with anything resembling what Franqi has described?
I think not with my husband. I don't think that he's a person that would work with.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
I think that when I was with my ex-boyfriend, it was a much different relationship. Like, I think that he was, pretty open to the fact that, it was sort of like more like don't ask, don't tell.
See the difference between you and me. Dan asked me the question, and I just answered it. You answer the question, nobody even knows what you're talking about.
No, I get what you're saying. Like
literally nobody knows what you're talking about.
No, 100%. I get it. You're saying the relationship you have with your current husband is not one where you think that would work, but you were with someone where you think.
I think
but that wasn't the question. The question was never, would you think it would work? Dan asked you, would that appeal to you?
Oh, okay.
Not with guy, not in this relationship.
But what if he said to you, I've been thinking, I want you to go and have fun and have sexual encounters with other men. Would you take him up?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't take him up.
Because he would.
Why not? Why not?
Because he would also, first of all, like he would never say that. Number one.
It's impossible.
But just to be clear, I'm not like out like humping every night. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I travel a lot. So
Franqi,
one
I'm
of our
sorry.
role.
I'm sorry, but I just want to nail this down. Periel, the witness will answer the question. God damn it! If you were allowed to sleep with other men,
I said no.
you would not sleep with other men.
No, I might sleep with other women.
Boom. There we
Sleep with
go.
other women.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be interested in.
Now,
I've
why
had
would
enough.
you not sleep with other men?
I've just had enough dick already. Just enough.
She's reached her dick quota for her lifetime.
Yeah, I
Got
always
it.
said if Guy and I ever got divorced, I think I would just become a lesbian.
I dig it.
Look at Noam.
Yeah.
He's so upset by this answer because now I've given him a straight answer.
No, you don't. You gave him a gay answer.
Look, he's so mad about this.
Now let's a reverse question. If Guy said,
Yeah.
I would like to sleep with other women,
Yes. No. The answer is no.
why
You
not?
may not.
Why
Why not? Because I don't want him
You
out.
asked me that question like you thought it was like something. Why not?
I don't know. I think that intellectually, I really am totally okay with it. And I think it's like a very bourgeois concept that we're supposed to be monogamous. And like, I actually don't think that that's the way that we're supposed to be. I just don't think that, I don't know. I
It's
mean,
scary.
yeah,
It can be scary for people for sure.
I think that I don't know, like if emotional. I mean, maybe I could be. Maybe I could be. I think that it really is like monogamy is like a made up thing. Like I don't think human beings are supposed to be monogamous.
No, I don't think so either.
And so there is really something very enlightened and reasonable that
Well, but it is natural to be jealous of a partner
Yeah,
that is
for
not
sure.
monogamous. So it doesn't come from out of nowhere. It's not just like we
But I
made
don't-
it
I
up
don't-
out of whole cloth.
but where does jealousy come from?
That's personal insecurity. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's your insecurity. And like, I know for an absolute fact, no matter who my husband's with, and I feel this with 100% certainty, he's never leaving me. I'm never leaving him.
Right.
So that's not like that problem or that issue or that concern has just always been off the table.
Right.
And we've been through like the worst stuff together and the best stuff together. Like, that's my guy. Like, that's my dude.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, someone
I-
said, like, your husband's not really, you're not his best friend.
Yeah.
Who would he call if there was cocaine in the trunk and a dead hooker? And I said, he wouldn't call you, is what they said. And I said, no, he wouldn't call me because I'd be sitting in the seat next to him going, oh my God, there's a dead hooker in the trunk. That's literally my best friend, like
Right.
for sure.
No, I think that I mean, listen, I always, for some reason, have like super hot, young, gorgeous, like girl babysitters. And I've had so many people say to me, like, are you crazy? Like, aren't you worried about, and I'm like, no, like, I think if like, he's going to cheat on me, like
gonna
he's gonna
happen.
cheat on me
Right.
regardless.
100%.
Like,
That's it right there. You
Yeah.
you don't own anybody. You can't stop
Exactly.
anyone from doing anything. Period.
What if he says like that? So I just want to go get a hand job at a massage parlor.
yeah, I've told him to go do that. Yeah, I don't think he's I really don't think he's interested in doing that. I really genuinely don't. Look at Noam.
Ariel does not know her husband at all.
I
I also I didn't want to say the other stuff, but like she does not know him. At all.
don't know. I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on things.
Literally. Okay.
Look at him. Noam is
I just
beside.
don't.
And then also for both my husband and I, he's the best sex that I've ever had in my whole life. And still to this day, 20 years later, it's just like it was the first time we had sex.
Really?
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like sometimes
Go ahead, chime in, please. Why are you making that face?
Who, me?
Yes.
I didn't realize I made a face.
I mean,
It was involuntary. That's not normal.
No, it's not. I don't think that it is normal. And a lot of times after sex, I'm like, babe, do you think other married couples are having sex like this? And he's like, nah. He's like, we'll high five. I'm like, I think we just won sex just now.
But then when you have a relationship with another man or woman,
No one's ever as good as my husband. Never been with anybody as good as my husband.
so it's not
Nope.
the sex that you're getting from this
No, it's
from
not.
this
It's a companion.
extramarital
No,
liaison.
nope. It's more so the companionship because I'm gone. Like I would say probably 70% of the time I'm not home. You know what I mean? So like that, like datey kind of feeling, you know, this when you're with someone and you can, hang out and whatever, like that, I miss that. And so like, especially when I'm here, I'm by myself. I don't even have my daughter here. So I want that companionship. So it's actually more about that than it is ever really about the sex.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't think most people could pull that off, but if it works for you, I would, okay, good. And I think that's great. Noam, I feel like I've guided the conversation. Is there anything, there must be some topic this week, some issue that you'd like to discuss? Or maybe not. Maybe this was a slow week, perhaps.
I mean, just everything. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen with this new variant. I just hope that we handle it.
Well, I suspect that there won't be any lockdown. I don't know.
Well, countries are locking down all over the world. Israel just went back on lockdown.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Well, I don't know that America has the will to, I mean,
Well, when you say Israel went back on lockdown, what does that mean they went back on lockdown?
It means that they have shut down international travel.
That's not what lockdown is. Lockdown is when you can't leave your house or you don't shut down work and stuff. That's what.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is if either A, the vaccines are effective, or B, the Omicron is not that severe, then there's no reason to lock down.
Right.
And it seems like these vaccines have so far held up pretty well against the variants that we've seen. Now, I don't know that Noam had said that they're a little concerned that it won't against Omicron, but which is a Greek letter you don't hear very often, by the way. I mean, do any fraternities use the letter Omicron?
Omega.
Yeah, Omega.
No, I know Omega.
No, but I thought that O in Greek was Omega. And it's not, apparently.
It's not?
Well, I guess it's Omicron, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that there's necessarily a one-to-one correspondence between each letter in the.
Yeah, I think it's. Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
There are two O's.
Well, there might be, but.
What did you say? No.
It's not an O. They don't. It's like they don't have a letter for each of our letters.
Well, it's alpha, beta,
theta,
C.
Theta, right?
No, what's C?
It's not C. It's.
I'm just kidding.
Well, there's a sigma. Look, the C has two sounds, k and s, and they have kappa and sigma. So maybe those.
No, those are K's.
No, kappa is a K. Sigma is, I assume,
S.
an S. Right, and our C is a k and a s.
A k and
so
a
so the kappa and the sigma does what our C does and what our S does. I'm guessing.
I don't understand
so
what
alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega.
Oh,
I heard all those letters in fraternities except
for Omicron. Yeah, for sure.
So omega is Z. They're Z.
You just told me it didn't correspond. Oh shit!
I thought it was alpha, beta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. Right, alpha, beta, gamma. I knew that. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta.
Alpha,
Zeta.
beta, gamma, delta.
There's Z, A, B, C, D, E, and their F is zeta.
I'm so confused.
Interesting.
Why is the omega Z?
Because it's the last letter.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it has that sound. It just means it's the last letter.
I know. I'm seeing how how many letters? How many? One, two, three,
so what
4,
sound is Omicron?
It's only 24 letters.
Are you trying to confuse me on purpose?
I don't know. How do you pronounce XI? Xi?
XI?
In Chinese it would be chi.
And they skipped over chi. There was no chi variant, was there?
I don't think so.
There was a mu. There was a mu.
There's a nu and a mu.
What is interesting is that M and N, mu and nu, do follow like the American alphabet, English alphabet, MN. So that's probably not coincidence, right?
That's the Roman alphabet. Actually.
But what about AB, alpha, beta?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not coincidence. So there's some crossover here, I guess.
And the X is pronounced
Delta
P.
is the fourth letter, D, E, delta, epsilon, and fourth and fifth letters. So yeah, there's obviously some relationship. There's too many things, but yeah, whatever. Dan, you're the language expert.
Well, I'm not an expert, but again, I just don't. I've never heard of Omicron in a fraternity or sorority. There might be, but I've never heard it.
I don't think.
No, I've never heard of that.
I was not in the Greek system myself in college, but I was aware of the fraternities and sororities that we had. In any case,
do they still use the Greek alphabet in Greece? They do, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I would think so.
Use the
That's their language, right?
I know. I'm wondering if like some
As
This
opposed
is the actual current Greek alphabet, right? Yeah.
I don't know whether Greek universities have fraternities, and if they do, if
They use English
Greek,
letters.
they might use English letters.
Well,
That
they're
would
like,
be
why are
weird.
these moron Americans using our letters for their dumb fraternities and
For
sororities?
keg stands.
I think it has its origins in I don't know where it has its origins, but I think
In
we
bathhouses?
associate Greeks with partying, don't we? Like the Bacchus, the Bacchanal.
I'm finding out something that I'm a total idiot. I didn't even know that pi, like 3.14 bar, pi is a Greek letter. I
Nuh-uh.
didn't know that.
Wow,
Yes.
that is really astounding that you didn't know that.
Yeah, I did not know
I'm
that.
astonished he didn't know what Munchausen was, frankly.
Well, finding out tonight that no one was an idiot.
Munchausen. I thought Munchausen. I know, like the Munchausen things when people lie. That's what I had said. Munchausen was like Baron von Munchausen was this big liar. Munchausen syndrome. I didn't know was pretending that you're sick all the time.
Not
And
that you're
Munchausen-
sick, but that your kid or,
No, I
or someone
looked it
you're
up.
caring for is sick.
Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
Okay,
is
so
when
that's
you-
actually the difference. Munchausen is when you pretend you're sick.
And
By
by
proxy is
proxy-
when you do it to someone else.
To a
Yeah.
kid, usually.
Yeah.
Usually it's your child,
Someone
but
you're
it
in
could also
charge
be
of,
someone you're
somebody that
caring for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. There's a lot of things I don't know. Apparently.
Apparently. That makes me feel pretty good. So what
There's way
happened
more
in
things you
the-
don't know.
By the way, no, and once again, excellent job on Monday with the band. I had come home Monday from Vegas, and you ever go away for a long time? You ever go away for a long time and you're so disconnected and isolated from your world that you need to get back into your world as quickly as possible. So I came home from Vegas on Monday, and for a week in Vegas, I was out there with people I didn't know except for Mark Cohen. I was in my room most of the time. I felt an overwhelming need. I don't know, Noam, did you remark when I walked in at 10 p.m.? It was very unusual for me to come into the cellar at that late hour. I don't know if you thought anything of it. Maybe you didn't.
Honestly, what I was thinking was we were in the middle of some like tender moment,
Yeah.
and I wanted you to not walk on the aisle close to the stage. I wanted you to walk around the other aisle because sometimes you walk right in front of the stage.
Okay.
So that's when I'm playing, that's all I'm focused on is playing. So I didn't pick up on the fact that it's late for Dan to be there. No.
Well, because
But
I
I
had
see-
just
but-
landed.
But why was it late? I see you all the time in the.
Yeah, I stay late, but I never come late. And the
Well,
explanation.
but you could have been at the underground or something.
I could have been. That's true. But the explanation was I had just arrived. I had come from the airport. I came home, changed, unpacked, and said, I've just spent a week in Vegas, basically in my hotel room. I'm going crazy. I got to get out there, come to the Comedy Store and be amongst my people. And then I came to the Comedy Store and there was really nobody there that I hang out with. But but I was still there in the energy of the room.
You don't
And-
go out by yourself when you're out of town?
No, I no, I don't.
And you say the band was good, Dan? That's what you were
Yeah, the
trying to
band
say?
was good, as it always is. There's no surprise there. But Nick seemed to be a little bit more impressive even than normal, and Nick is normally very impressive. But he did some solo that was even more,
Didn't Franqi perform with you?
I did sing with those guys. Funnier, I sang with them years ago before I had just started comedy. Had been doing comedy, I think 2 years, 3 years maybe. And I had my first headline show at a club here in New York. And so we came to the Olive Tree to celebrate, and I got completely separated from like 20 people. And so I was just here by myself celebrating alone. And you guys were playing, and they were wrapping up for the night and said that they would take a request. And I said, oh, can you play Adele When We Were Young? And I don't remember who said it, but the guy, I think he was just kind of messy. He's like, well, yeah, we'll play it if you come up and sing it. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And we like blew the roof off. Like it was really,
They were
really-
not expecting you to
Oh, it was
actually be able to sing.
it was incredible. It was really fun.
So you sang recently with the band?
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
What did you sing?
What did I sing?
So let me just tell you, just before we think, just so she knows how racist the real world is. When a black girl says she wants to come up and sing with the band, we absolutely expect her to be able to sing. It's like absolutely, we assume she could sing. When a white girl
Hilarious.
says, "I want to sing with the band," we roll our eyes. Like, oh God! And if she's good, we're like, "Holy shit, she was good." But
That's probably my
that's the
favorite thing.
truth. Have you ever seen Carol? Like, well, Frankie, you remember like Ron Grant's over Mike Night Sunday nights in the Village Underground? Did you ever go to that?
No, I didn't.
You know, it's like mostly R&B open mic, and there would be some song, and like the audience would sing along. and they would sing in perfect 3 and 4 part harmony, like you're just without it. And then you go to some like dumb, white girl karaoke night, and everybody is just awful. Now, I'm not going to speculate as to whether this is nature or nurture, but it is real. Okay. It is real.
We are a rhythmic people, and Guilty Feet ain't got no rhythm. So it's difficult for the whites.
And by the way, this is true around the world. If I remember seeing there was some protests in South Africa. It might have been a protest against apartheid. It might be that old or whatever it is. And they were all singing, and it made you cry. They were singing in beautiful harmony, like just beautiful, as if they were rehearsed. It was crazy. It was crazy. You don't see that in Staten Island, I don't know. It's just
Staten Island.
It's just different. Anyway, there is the Beatles documentaries out, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, you guys do a great Blackbird, by the way. That's one of my favorite songs.
No, and where would you put Vivian Sessoms in the hierarchy of singers?
Oh, she's fantastic.
Who is this?
This is somebody that sings. She was there on Monday night singing.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She was very hoarse on Monday, actually. She's had gigs with many of the top acts in the world. Yeah, she's really good.
I'm very jittery from the coffee I had earlier.
You are?
Oh my God, so jittery. I haven't had coffee in like weeks. And so I'm like,
Anyway, Noam, is there anything else?
Pardon? She toured with Pink and Joe Cocker.
Oh, wow.
And she did the Chris Bodie gig for a while. She's top notch. Rob Thomas. She was Rob Thomas's main background singer for a while, and a bunch of other.
And I haven't. Now all of a sudden she's singing with you on Monday nights. I haven't seen. Where has she been on tour all this time? Because I haven't seen her.
No, we're just old friends. She used to work for me in the WA years ago. You don't know Vivian? She's been around for years.
Maybe I knew her because she used to sing at the Underground, I think, or maybe at the WA.
She used to wait tables in the Olive Tree at one time.
I haven't seen her at the Olive Tree in a while, or if ever. But
yeah. There's a whole collection of really, really, really good singers that I worked with, all of whom went on to really, really big gigs. Like Sasha's touring with the Stones now, and Amanda.
Shut up. Yeah, that's awesome.
And Amanda's singing with Adele. I mean, all of them became like and these were all people I met, like they were doing nothing when I met them. Amanda was managing one of these clothing stores in a mall, and
oh wow,
Sasha was doing nothing. Vivian was waiting tables in the Olive Tree. Like all these people that
you're a good luck charm.
They weren't just good, they were great. Like, it's a big country out there with a lot of people trying to get these background singing gigs. And I mean, it's pretty amazing that I was so lucky to meet these people. Anyway.
But do you give yourself any credit for not just meeting them, but putting them on the road to those careers? Not really. I think they would have done it anyway.
Maybe you just attract greatness.
Boom. I like
that. I would say I have a good ear for it. That I'll accept that. But I don't believe that somebody that great needed to meet me in order to people to recognize.
No, sure, but I think that it does say something about the kind of people that one chooses to surround themselves with. No?
Yeah, you're energy attracts energy.
What it says about me is that I'm a good enough accompanist, which is a rare thing. Accompanist is a breed all its own. It's not just about playing solos or music or anything like that. Be accompanying a singer. That I'm a good enough accompanist that singers wanted to be there. Good singers wanted to be there, because good singers struggle to find good accompanists.
What's that word? Accompanists?
Somebody who accompanies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So would you say Nick is a good accompanist, or he's like a solo act that?
No, Nick is very good too. Nick is very good.
If there's nothing else, Nicole, this was an episode a little bit less political than most. What are your impressions?
Yeah, this was super fun. I love this episode.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
this was a good time.
If Nicole says it must be so.
Nicole always says it's good. I want Nicole, you got to say something.
Yeah, but it's not what she says, it's how she says it. If she had said, "Oh, I really enjoyed it," yeah, then she's full of shit.
This episode.
What's that?
I felt less fear this episode. I feel like that's good, right?
Nice.
I suppose. Well, we'll see what the listeners think. Please give us your comments. Please, we want to help us help you. podcast at comedyseller.com. No, are we ready to wrap it up before I get into my closing spiel?
I'm ready.
And if anyone has any questions about how to open their marriage, just slide in my DMs.
Well, that's like,
And I will happily advise
yeah, but
you.
that's a bit like Roger Federer saying, if anyone has questions about how to be the greatest tennis player in the world, not everybody can do it.
Everyone can do it.
You basically did an ad tonight telling girls around the world they should fuck your husband.
Oh yeah, please, a girl.
Best sex you ever had.
Well,
it's amazing. Yeah, please, if you get an opportunity, do it. Yeah, for sure.
Has he ever been here? Have I seen him?
No, I'll bring him down.
Well,
we do have one question here. What are the protection rules in that relationship?
Oh, strap it up always, 100% of the time. There is
Except with you.
We are on.
Excuse me.
Except with you.
He and I. Yeah, we're actually. Yeah, we're not. We don't.
He doesn't wear a condom with you.
No.
But he has to with the other girls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you believe that he does.
Absolutely, he does. He's very fertile. Like if I would have gotten an STD or he would have, or you know what I mean? Someone would have been pregnant for sure.
Well, we'll take your word for it. And like I said, I don't think most people could pull this off, but if it works for you, fine.
But
where a good way of making sure that the sex with you is better than with any of those girls.
Say what?
It's a way of assuring that the sex he has with you, from his point of view, is superior to any of the girls.
That's hilarious.
It's the truth.
But no, I'm amazing. So yeah, even if he didn't, I'm still fine.
Where can everybody find you, Franqi?
Oh, I'm at Franqi French everywhere on all of the socials. FR
with a Q.
Yeah, FRANQI FRENCH.
And Franqi, was that your given name or is that a stage name? Or?
It's a stage name. I was working in corporate America. I was a talent acquisition director for a executive director for a tech company. And so
the fuck.
And so I wanted to separate my comedy from like my real life at the time when I had started. And then I won Stand Up NBC. And so I was like, it's kind of too late to change my name at this point. So I kept it and then started doing comedy full time. So now I really don't care. But yeah, that's my moniker.
Okay. And all right, Franqi.
My real name is Arabic. It's Bahija.
Ooh, Bahija. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm happy I didn't know that before we started. All right, Dan, I have to go.
Okay, podcast at comedyseller.com. I Respiro Before COVID, available on Amazon. Periel's books. The Only Bush I Trust Is My Own, and On My Knees, also available on
my
Amazon.
God, I'm getting both of those.
And at Franqi French, FRANQUI, you said?
No, you. It's FRANQI.
And
this
French.
is another African-American thing, Dan.
Yep. Thank you, Noam.
They don't do the U.
No.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You picked up on that?
Nope, don't
you would think I would have picked up on that after all these years.
Every white person, though, that spells my name, and I'm like, don't you me. Yeah. Don't you it.
Thank you. And we will next time on Live from the Table. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Franqi.
Thank you, Noam.
Bye. See you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Punched myself in the face.